Let's do some podcast maxing. Let's go.
It's better.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Four Jobbers. I'm, of course, Ginger Heat. We're all four jobbers this week, and we're going to break down some wrestling. But first, we're going to do some introductions with the body from Kirkcaldy, Jordan Deves, all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland. I don't have a haunted question of the week this week, so why don't you just tell me what's going on in your life? What's going on with the brewing business, for example?
Brewing. Aye.
Hey,
But forget I sometimes make beer, eh? Do you know what? This week's been all right. There's been a lot happening, a lot of ups and downs, and by that I mean I've been up and down to Wales. It's been good.
How's
Brewing,
Bonnie Wales?
Oh, but always rainy. But yeah, like brewing's going well. We've got another Pilsner of ours in a local pub. So as soon as that goes on tap, I'll be firing down there for my. I mean, I don't pay for it, right? I get a free pint, at least one, surely. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I'll be firing down there for a wee pint. But do you know what? It's Six Nations time for those who follow the rugby, and obviously. That last weekend was a bit of a stinker for me, getting pumped by those stinky frickin' Italians. And then, of course, England beating Wales, just to cherry on top of a shite weekend. But it is what it is. We get better. We work on it. We work on ourselves. And then we don't, lash out with a barrage of hate against our Italian and English friends. That's personal growth. That's what that is.
That's pretty good. I mean, Great Britain has a good chance of winning some medals in the Winter Olympics. They're already getting a couple, but the one I'm more focused on, of course, hockey. They won't win one there, but curling. They have a great team. They have a great chance to win the gold medal in the 4-on-4 curling. Not necessarily in mixed curling. It's 2-on-2. But the 4-on-4, that's the one that really matters. And Great Britain has a great team. So if you're not paying attention, those are the two best, in my opinion, hockey and curling. Those are my favorite ones to watch.
Curling,
it seems like
a little bit of Canadian darts. That's what we call that over here.
It's a Scottish game.
I know, but it's not really, though, is it?
Dominated by us, of course. And speaking of domination, the waxy, the venomous, the son of the dentist. What's your favorite winter sport to watch, bud?
Ice hockey.
Yeah.
What are you
Ice
talking
hockey.
about? Well, some people don't recognize hockey as hockey. There's a hockey that's played on grass,
Field
which
hockey.
is called field hockey. You know this?
Yeah, I'm aware of this.
Oh, okay.
My mom played it.
Well, there you go. So people play it.
Do you know what? You joke. I remember growing up, I always thought that ice hockey was for boys and field hockey was for girls. That's just how it kind of played out.
I thought the same as well.
Or ringette. There was ringette. It was very popular.
Yeah, have you heard of ringette?
Ringette.
Yeah.
What's that like?
You never heard of it?
It's a stick, okay, with no
blade
guy at the end.
There's no blade on the stick.
Right. So it's just
there's no guy.
And there's it's a donut. It's not a puck. It's a donut.
It's a ring.
And you fling it around.
Ringette.
And you throw the ring.
Megan plays it. My sister Megan plays it.
Yeah, you fling the ring. There you go.
Little
you
ring
fling
there.
the ring.
See?
Oh, aye, we're
Ring
looking
there.
at it just now. Oh,
Not
right.
an Olympic sport. I don't know. Do people still play? You said your sister plays it, Brad.
Yeah, she plays it. She also coaches a high level, so it does go high level. It's in the universities in the States and such, so
There must be some world
very popular game. And I don't understand why it's gender specific. It's a great game. We actually played it a little bit in school growing up. Inside, you'd get the wooden stick with the ring.
Yeah.
Play inside, and it was actually a really, really fun game. And there's a bit of a different rules in it and stuff. So great game, very interesting stuff. But interesting to know that the rest of the world isn't aware.
I've
of the
never
ringette.
heard of ringette.
Really?
Now you
Well,
have.
someone who knows a lot about ringette is they love Jason, they hate Jason, the mysterious, the wonderful, the magnificent, the magnamic. I don't know what else to call you, Jason. I'm not sure if you're going to go by they hate Jason anymore. If you're going to go by they love Jason, are you still a hater this week?
Yeah, I think so. I'm still. I mean, there's no Roman Reigns this week, so it was pretty rough.
It was pretty rough. So you didn't enjoy SmackDown and Raw, or is it just Raw we're talking about here?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your favorite Winter Olympic sport to watch?
Swimming.
Ice swimming?
They swim inside, it's not outside swimming.
I guess.
At the Winter Olympics? Is there
the
any?
Olympics?
I don't know. Honestly, like the Winter Olympics kind of suck. I was kind of, I don't know. I don't like
Just
it.
because you're not watching it.
No, I put
It's
it on,
because
but like I don't like the
Jason
events.
put on the Winter Olympics, but Roman Reigns didn't appear, so he wasn't interested in
I
it.
mean, hockey is the only one I'm going to watch. I think it starts Thursday.
Curling, you've enjoyed curling before on the TV. I know that.
I got to be in the right state of mind. Like I've been very agitated and antsy lately, and I can't watch curling like that. You got to be like relaxed.
I feel you. It's that time of year. We're cooped up here in Canada. It's snowing again. It is like white out. You can't see anything. Snow is barreling down on us, and the winter blues are setting in. I got an appointment back to the hospital of death on Thursday.
God.
We're gonna get by that. We're gonna get through that. But in order to get through that, we have distractions, and one of those distractions is wrestling. And wrestling is the best it's ever been. Right? It's currently flying high. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. I wanted to talk about first. We'll get right into Monday Night Raw. I wanted to talk about the Usos, tag team champions, flying high. There was a lot of controversy with them coming out of the Rumble and the yeeting mid-match. Jim Cornette was just talking about it, and I think everybody's done talking about it. But this week, they tried to do something a little different, I feel. The yeeting begins, the music hits, crowd's going bonkers. I think it was North Carolina or something. I don't know. They haven't seen WWE in a long time, but they were going nuts for the Usos. They were yeeting out of control. But then, the timing, a commercial starts. Bang. So if you're watching Netflix in Canada or abroad, you get to see what happens in between. But for the rest of the United States, they're just watching commercials. So during that time, that's when they take their time. They get in the ring slowly. They're kind of waiting around. The crowd is going nuts. They want another yeet. He runs it back. The crowd goes insane. They yeet again, but it's all through the commercial break.
Yeah.
They're winding it down. Boom, the thing hits. The other tag team comes out. So what do you guys think about having the second yeet during the commercials? For us, we still see it internationally, but does it make more sense for you guys?
I mean, whoa, it was a cat just went flying up there. That was fun.
And he's screaming. For those of you who aren't watching, we're actually on YouTube. If you want to check it out, the podcast does air so you can see us and get more of a raw feel of our faces.
Raw. Interesting. I see what you did there. Look, yeah, the one thing we've said that we don't want is to be made to feel like we're in the audience when we're not in the audience, if that makes sense. Like, don't treat me like I'm there. The show on TV should feel different to the show when you're there because the atmospheres are different, right? So if you're going to edit your program so that the people in the audience get what they came for, which apparently is just mindless just waving your arms in there like a wanker, you can do that. That's absolutely fine. If that's what Americans are into, that's absolutely fine. For me, I'm a highbrow, quality programming Scotsman. I prefer my entertainment a little bit classier. So I'm okay that they cut to commercial break, as they would call it. So yeah, I'm fine with it. I think that's the best place for it. Put it in the ad break. I don't need to see it. Maybe the first time when they first come out and they're like, "Day one is being dances. Day one is Jim Paul. Yeah, a little bit of eating," and then ad break. Fine, perfect. That's what I need. That's all I need in my life. I don't need any more than that. And then by the time I come back in, ding ding, there goes the bell. Begin the fight, sirs. I'm happy with it.
I guess, yeah, it's best of both worlds. It's anything's better than what we got at the Royal Rumble.
100%.
So they can't stop the eating, ultimately. No. As much as I wish they would, that they can't. Because
I don't think they want to either. It seems
no,
like
they don't want to. Of course not.
It's
not. No, I'm not saying they can't as in like they want to, but they are compelled to continue. I must eat. No, of course they want to keep doing it. It's getting over. It's the crowd gets into it. It's fun. I'm sure when you guys were there just a couple weeks ago, Brad and Jason, it was fun to get into.
There was no eating.
Oh, there was no eating. Jay wasn't there. But anyway, I'm sure it would be fun.
We would have yeeted along. I think 100%. Jason said it before.
That's interesting, though. So,
100%.
Like, when I went to an event, where was it? Oh, actually, it was AEW. I was at AEW in London a couple of years. In fact, I'm wearing the shirt. What the hell?
Hey.
That's
Hey.
crazy. In London a couple of years ago, everybody was cutting about going, yeah, and giving
Oh,
it the LA Night thing. When we were in Elimination Chamber a couple of years ago in Montreal, there was people cutting about going, yeah, and he wasn't in anything.
You were one of them.
In,
One of the loudest, if I
100%.
remember
And
correctly.
it's just because I've got Tourette's. But like, these things are still happening in the crowds, even though that person's not there. But it's interesting that you guys went to a show and nobody started like trying to yeet mid-show, even though Jey Uso was there. So it proves to me that it's only over when he's there. It's not like it's so over that the crowd are doing it when they're cutting about town and everything like that. You know, I can bump into someone in the street and they'll be like, "What?" Like that's
Well,
over. You know, that's why I don't want to hear it, but it's a thing that people do.
I think there's a difference between saying yeah and going up to someone. Hey, you remember this?
Hey,
They
With
think
the
you're a
arse ring in
crazy
front of you.
person. They take-
wrestling? No, they think you're a wrestling fan. You know, it's much of the same thing. to be
Probably
fair,
not, but
yeah, maybe not. But
How you
you
been?
know, it's interesting that it wasn't a feature of the event that you went to because Jay wasn't there.
What's one thing that you could walk up to a wrestling fan and say, and they would get it right away, but isn't the most obvious necessarily? Maybe a woo?
Yeah, woo.
Slap them on the chest?
Maybe.
Hey, how you been?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
that's a good
something
one.
like
Yeah,
that.
it depends on the era.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, something universal.
Yeah.
If
Maybe.
you
Smell.
smell, I was thinking of that one. If you smell,
Can't see me.
you can't see.
Ah,
me.
Can't
that's the
see
best.
me.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's probably
Yeah.
number one.
That one also
Oh, wait, you meant-
transcends pop wrestling. It's like become a
Yeah.
pop culture thing now. So.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
that's
Jason,
true.
did you want to talk on the yeet at all, or you good?
No, I
with
think we've
the-
talked enough about yeeting.
We've talked enough about yeeting, so let's move on to the next thing. Waxman, I believe you wanted to talk about Mr. Tomato.
Yeah, the Tomatonator himself, Tommaso Ciampa. So we're gonna go away from WWE a little bit, and one thing I hate, like my least favorite part of the IWC, is the brand loyalists, specifically the ones who make it their whole personality that I'm a WWE fan, I'm an AEW fan, and thus everything about the other brand is awful. Because the fact that both of them exist is a good thing. And example number one, as of late, is Tommaso Ciampa. This guy was perfect for the NXT Black and Gold era that most people know him for. They tried to make it work on the main roster, and he saw, hey, there's no more opportunity for me here. So I'm not going to re-sign my contract. I'm going to see what else is out there. AEW seems like a cool place to be, probably to him. That has an NXT Black and Gold essence to it. There's a lot of guys who were in that era who went over there. And I think it was a great move for them to put the TNT Championship on him right away.
Straight away,
Yeah.
yeah.
Love that.
Beating Mark Briscoe. If you can get Ciampa back to that NXT Championship persona, I think he can carve out at the very least a nice mid-card run with, he's got less years ahead of him than behind him in his wrestling career. So I know he also just kind of wants to take one more shot at it, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything stopping him if he really catches fire. He is good on the mic. We've seen that. He's very passionate. He makes you believe everything he's saying is coming from him. I don't think he has to be a main eventer, but I don't think if, again, he gets that traction, he has a good title reign with the TNT Championship, I can't see why not, or I wouldn't raise an eyebrow at him at least getting an AEW Championship title match or being in that picture for a little bit. So super happy for him. A great example of a wrestler who has chosen to, I guess you'd say, bet on himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he could have re-signed in WWE if he wanted to. Get, a nice payday, ride out the rest of his career, and that would have been fine. That would have been his right.
Yep.
But he chose to go a different way. I think AEW is the right place for him if he wants to kind of see what else he's got left, see what else he can do. And I'm fired up. I can't wait to see what more he does. He's going up against Kyle Fletcher, I think, next, and that should be a
Looks
great
like it.
match. And there's so many great matches for him there. So I will try and tune in for Tommaso Ciampa. He's always been one of my boys. So wishing him the best. Excited for what I'm seeing so far.
He's been working out with DDP a little bit. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah.
seen these before. They were interesting. It's interesting you brought him up this week because he has been using the power cuffs, and obviously he's one of the most jacked guys you will ever see. And so if you actually want to follow him on Instagram, he gives some good tips on form and things like that for working out. But you'll see these power cuffs. Have you guys seen them before?
No.
Those in the job reverse. These are from DDP. You put them on your arms and you turn the little dial, and it sort of restricts your blood flow a little bit. And the science shows that you can use much, much less weight, putting much less strain on your joints, and still get the same effect as lifting higher weight. It's pretty crazy. So you can see this.
Wow.
He's doing some bicep curls there on a bar with no weights on it, and still getting the same results that you would if you loaded that up with a ton of weight. So pretty cool for those of us that are getting older. Think about the power cuffs. DDP always coming up with innovation. That's our dude. That's my guy. So pretty cool stuff there. So excited to try those out one day, hopefully. DDP, hit us up. Sponsorship.
Oh, there you go.
Jordan, the resident AEW Mark, what do you think about Ciampa and AEW?
Do you know what? See, when you look at Ciampa in WWE, and I'll talk about the main roster, not NXT, his run is lower mid card, I would say. Maybe his tag title stuff with Gargano is something you're like, oh yeah, that was good, but the tag division was such a joke. It's really not fair to compare it. But anyway, he's not being used the way that he was in NXT. However, him appearing in AEW and immediately winning the title made me care about that title. There's something about him appearing, being 2 or 3 days removed from WWE, it felt like a big deal. And the fact that he won it elevated that title. It's not that Mark Briscoe isn't a great wrestler and a great champion, but there's something about the status of what happened more than who it was. The fact that it's like a WWE guy has just appeared and then boom, he's already got the title. It just elevates that title a little bit. And maybe it shouldn't do that. And I don't know if that's to the detriment of AEW, but it did to me immediately feel like that's interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm just looking at like the last few champions, right, for the TNT title. If you go right back to the start, you have Cody Rhodes, Brody Lee, back to Cody Rhodes, Darby Allin, Miro, Sammy Guevara, back to Cody Rhodes. Like it's some top tier talent, and then somewhere in the middle you end up with, I'm really sorry, unfortunately, Powerhouse Hobbs, who's just debuted in WWE as what's his name again? Oh God,
Royce Keys.
Royce Keys.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
The 5'9".
You've got Wardlow. You've got Luchasaurus. There was a great little run with Christian Cage at one point. And then the last couple that you have are Dustin Rhodes, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe. All great wrestlers, but for some reason not on the same status level as
It's more like
Tommaso
indie
Ciampa.
darlings, right?
100%.
Young up-and-comer and some indie darlings.
Yeah, and that, I think, that's what that title was meant to do. It's meant to elevate. I get that. But I think it can only elevate if the title still feels relevant. And I think that somebody like Ciampa coming in and going, hey, I'm going to show you what I can do with this for a bit, I think it does that. So I'm excited to see what he does with it too. I'm not a massive Ciampa guy, but his run in NXT was great. His run with Goldie was fun. So if it does the same kind of thing with the TNT Championship on AEW, I'm down for it.
We talked a little bit
too.
about star power, right? And I think Ciampa does have some star power. We saw it in NXT. He can have that essence, and I think he feels big time. And Triple H saw that, and you saw that he was running with it. It's not just because he sort of resembles Triple H. He was pushing him because of how good he is, and he has big time feel. Maybe bigger feel than Johnny Gargano in some people's opinion. Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, he's pretty good, I guess. I don't know. I don't really watch him, so I haven't
You
seen
didn't see
anything.
him in NXT, like his run there, and you didn't. It's fine if you didn't. I was just curious if you had or
I
not.
saw when he feuded with Johnny Gargano. That's like my biggest memory of him. And he was, I mean, obviously he looks like $1 million and he can talk, he can work, he can do it all. For whatever reason, it didn't really manifest into too much on the main roster.
I like no spots. They didn't push him into one of those spots, so it's one of those things where you have to hang around until a spot opens up.
He got hurt a couple times.
He got hurt a couple times.
Sure.
As well. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, he doesn't have much star power, but I didn't follow his career. I guess like for me, it's a good test because I'm kind of a like shallow wrestling fan. I only pretty much watch WWE and the main roster stuff. I don't scour the indies and like the NXTs and all that. So he just never really stood out much to me. Him and Gargano, like people, they seem beloved. Like, you know, like they have a hardcore, smaller fan base, but I never really got it. Like I know they're incredible workers, but that's never what stands out for me. It's always the character work and the talking and the storylines for me.
That's what they had in NXT. I mean, Wax, you can definitely speak to that. I mean, the talking and the story is what led to their success in NXT. Yeah, they're great in the ring. Lots of people are, but they do have unique styles in the ring. But it was more the story and the storytelling that these guys were able to pull off.
Yeah, if they were just good wrestlers, which they are, I think they would be seen. I hate to say it because he's also one of my boys. They'd be seen in the Pete Dunne light a little bit right now. Right. But at their peak, exactly the feud you're talking about, Jason, when they were peeling up the ring mat and doing, DDTs on the exposed wood, the hate they had for each other felt real. It made you feel something.
The KO Sammy reborn, like another kind of that blood feud brotherhood.
Guys who've known each other for a long, long time.
100%.
And again, I encourage you to check out some of his promo work, because if there's one guy who can make you feel just with what he's saying, he can be saying anything. It's Tommaso Ciampa. We could speculate why it didn't ultimately work for him on the main roster. I think injuries. He was actually getting over a little bit when he was paired with The Miz, ironically enough, because he was his talker, or he was his kind of muscle for a little bit, and that was going really well. People were remarking that he was cutting good promos. I think he even got in a couple title matches.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Injuries derailed him, went back to DIY and got stuck in the tag team division. But yeah, I think star power can be contextual too. I agree. Main roster, he didn't have much, but NXT definitely, and AEW, it feels big time for someone to jump ship from WWE and be there the next day. You remember that when it happens.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where it goes, but yeah, it feels like a big deal, him showing up. And again, theme song was great. I love his entrance. He's got a consistent run of great entrance themes.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not worried about him from a match perspective. I'm not worried about him from a promo perspective. I'm worried about him staying healthy. That's going to be the only thing I think that gets in his way, if anything.
Fair.
Yeah, it makes sense for sure. One thing I wanted to bring up, Jay, maybe you'd appreciate this, is some heel commentary. We need more good heel commentary in WWE, especially. And Liv Morgan comes out and she goes, "The greatest of all." She does that whole thing in time. And it's just like quiet for a second. Corey goes, "Wow, she's got the voice of an angel." Just like you could tell, like he's probably being serious because he's like that heel, but it was also facetious, so it was really funny. So hoping to get some more heel commentary out of Corey. Let Corey go, because I think he can get some nasty jibes in there if they let him.
Let Corey go, and let Wade do it too.
Yeah, seriously.
Wade can do it. He has his little moments where he teases that he's kind of going with the heel. Like it's the only example that comes to mind, but his work with Kit Wilson, every time Kit comes out, he's like, "Well, you're toxic, Joe Tess." That's perfect. That's all you need. You don't need to be like Jerry the King Lawler in the Attitude Era levels of insanity. But
I think
foil.
Corey gets a good balance in there. I've always enjoyed him. Like there's always a not so much heel, but maybe just the contrarian to the to whoever else he's sitting opposite, and I always enjoy that. When you have someone like Cole and Pat McAfee, they're chemistry's great, but they're both really positive, and I don't get two sides of the coin when I'm listening to the product. So I kind of need the balance a bit better.
Storytelling is the most important
100%,
thing, and the
100%.
commentary is arguably one of the most important parts of wrestling, to tell the story and tell us what's going on and save us from missteps and missed spots and things like that. It's their job to make everybody look good all the time, whether that's through negative commentary or positive.
For sure.
More of that.
Our very popular Job Squad reel is blowing up.
Hey,
more
there you
likes.
go.
Jason with the Job Squad at the Four Jobbers. Ever on social media, Job Squad. Shout
Al
out.
Snow
Good
liked
song
it.
for it too. Who
Did
did?
he?
Did
Yeah,
he?
Al
Nice.
Snow.
Shout out to Al Snow, friend of the show.
Tagged him in it. Was hoping to use some of my
Well, it worked.
some of my reach, get it noticed. Speaking of getting noticed, we're noticing that the Vision is now a member light. Jordan, what is going on with the Vision, and are they cooked?
Well, this is the problem. Like, what's going on with them? No one knows. I mean, this is a faction that started in April of last. Yeah, it is last year. My goodness, it's 2026.
Wow.
It started in April of last year and had quite possibly the makings of this generation's evolution, if you wanted to compare it to another
For
faction.
sure.
And unfortunately, somebody got injured, and it kind of fell a little bit flat. And that happens. I
Two
understand.
injuries.
Well,
Oh, you're getting there.
we're getting there.
Okay, so
We-
first injury happened.
we have a first injury, and
Okay.
then I'm thinking, okay, fine. How do you save this now tag team? Well, you make it a faction with some other members. You bring in two dudes, one that is, well, I was going to say one that can really go. Both can really go, and that's the thing. One is universally hated because he's just a dick. And the other one is Logan Paul. So you've got four guys who absolutely can go in the ring. You've got four guys who, between them, can cut an insane promo as a faction. And then guess what? Their main star gets injured as well. Braun Breaker seems to be out for however long. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But Braun Breaker seems to be out for a little bit, and that leaves Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. I'm not interested. I've immediately, we talk about star power, I've immediately lost interest because the star power I don't think is there. And that's me saying Logan Paul isn't enough for me to watch because he's not leading that faction. He can't lead that faction. He's the guy who follows. He's the guy who, one-on-one matches every now and again, fine. But as part of that team, there's just something missing there. And it was somebody to lead them. And I don't know what they do from here. I feel like this is such a great idea, such a perfect melding together of star power. But through injury, it's just been absolutely decimated.
Yeah.
And I just don't know where they go from here. You can't find another member. You can't just go, oh, well, here's another guy. Royce Keys, why don't you join us? That doesn't work. You can't do that. So you're going to have to deal with what you've got. And what you've got are three guys who can absolutely go, but it's just not believable that they're the Vision now. They're just not. So I don't know where you go with this. Now, the only thing that has crossed my mind is that Braun Breaker isn't actually injured. I believe he is, and it's been played that he is, of course. But I've been played before, and I'm now a skeptic to anything I read. The only thing I could think of is that Braun Breaker isn't legitimately injured. It's all a cover, and he's trying to play a Seth Rollins on Seth Rollins. If he was ever going to learn from his master, this would be a great way to do it. But again, I don't believe that to be the case. I'm just throwing out theories, right? What do you guys think? Do you think that this is a redeemable faction? Do you think it's over? How do you salvage what we have at this point?
First of all, I think he's actually hurt. I don't think he's faking it. I hope he's not. Like, as much as I love what Seth did, and it's one of the greatest moments ever when he came back and dropped his crutches and everything, it's kind of made the conspiracies out of control going forward. Now everyone's like faking injuries, which like I understand because they could be, but I don't think he is here. One thing I would do, I think Logan Paul is his own entity, and he doesn't really need to step up and be the leader. He doesn't, he's just like an incredible worker. He gets automatic heat. He can do what you need. I think the person that needs to step up, unless he was, slowly trying to turn his back on them, being like an operative for Seth, is Austin Theory, the guy that came back and no one cares, and he's just there. Like he made this big entrance and this big moment, and I was a fan of his. I was happy to see him back, and I couldn't care less now. So make him interesting. Give him some lines, give him some story, give him something week to week to make us care about him, because whatever you did, you took his hair away, you took and you took his ego, you took everything away from him. He's just like a creative character now. Like, give it back, make him step up and take over the vision, rename it, do whatever you got to do, but make me care about this guy again. He's too young and too talented to just let go.
Yeah, he went to Turkey or something. But he got attacked also by the masked man on Raw.
Get rid of the masked men. Like
that too. No more masked men. Everyone full facial exposure. My worry is this is going to become Paul Heyman with friends. And some people might see that as a saving grace, because at least there's someone who can reliably talk and get heat. But the goal to me of the vision was to get these guys over. And I feel like it's WWE in a way responding to the allegation that their men's roster is aging. And then you had a whole bunch of guys, plus Seth. And I guess Bronson. I don't think Bronson's that young either. But
like 37?
Now you have... 37, but the other three are pretty young. So maybe this was their way of getting some younger stars a bit more traction. And I don't know. I don't know if you just kind of quit while you're behind or you try and run on life support. It really depends on how long Braun Breaker is out for. Because it sounds like they were gearing up for a Braun Seth WrestleMania story. That would have been my guess. I don't know. But the masked man storyline has to go somewhere, regardless of Braun being hurt or not. It has to not be stupid.
So this is the interesting thing, that I think we all kind of wondered if Braun got injured at the Rumble in the attack, and that's why he's been written off, right? But it sounds, from what we're hearing, that the injury came after the Rumble. So the plan was always going to be then that Braun gets attacked by some masked dude at the Rumble. Yeah. Well, if he's now injured, what's the point of the masked dude? Because the story has to change then, right? This is the problem with this kind of longer term storytelling, which is what I want. We all want long term storytelling, but the problem with it, when you have injuries as rife as they are in wrestling, particularly right now, these factions, these storylines just get absolutely decimated when one person gets cut out, and this group have had two. Where do you go? I just don't understand what's the contingency, I guess. If you're thinking about a plan, right? You wouldn't just go, here's the plan, we're going to follow that. You're going to prepare for something else happening. They must have another idea of where they're going to go. I just don't see it. Normally I can predict, maybe they could go this way or that way. I don't see it. And I'm worried about that.
When's the last time two guys got injured in a faction, or two people in a storyline this big got injured? Like, I don't know if that's ever happened before, that the two main guys in the division, the two main guys are both dead. Like, that's so rare, and it's a hernia operation. That's going to take 6-8 weeks, maybe more, who knows, especially because you're coming back to such a physical sport, and anything in that gut region is going to take a long time to heal. Like, everything's moving in there. It's not everything you do is engaging the core. So yeah, it's definitely worrisome for him, but I know he'll be back and better and stronger and more tan than ever, but it does hurt the road to WrestleMania a lot, for sure.
Well, someone's got to be behind the mask. They can't just write it off and forget it, but I can't think of who's going to be behind that mask that isn't a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we know who's behind the masks in El Grande Americano's little group, and they're killing it right now.
Do we?
But I don't think they're going to be inserted into this.
I mean, like that's a good storyline. I enjoy that. It's fun. It's stupid. You got
It's
two.
so
you
funny
got-
how it's the opposite. Like in Mexico, it really, and they were talking about it this week on Raw. How El Grande Americano Ludwig is super, super over down there, and it's the opposite here, where he's hated, but Chad Gable super over.
has the Chad Gable Americano, if that's who we're believing that it is, of course. Did he do much in AAA before his injury? I can't actually remember. Or has it been mostly Ludwig
I
Kaiser
think it's
that's
mostly
done?
been Ludwig's
And maybe that's
Americano.
why he's so over. Like he's just been there for a little bit longer in this AAA deal that's been going on.
There's also like a different, like they do play the character differently, even though they're both very
100%.
similar.
Yeah.
There's something about Ludwig and the way he talks and the way he moves that is
Yeah.
so good, just different from Chad, and Chad getting the gimmick over here. It's very interesting. As to, I don't know the exact reason. It just seems like they do play the character differently, though. I don't know if it's
Do
part
you
of
know
that.
what?
Maybe his Spanish is better.
It's a stupid gimmick, but I'm here for it, and I want to see eventually the two of them face off because I think the match would just be class if I'm being
Yeah,
honest. I'm not
for
going to
sure.
know who's who, and it's going to be a whole Spider-Man thing where they're all pointing at each other at the end of it. But it's going to be fun anyway. So yeah, I'll tune into that.
And they're both trying to get each other's mask off, so I'm sure eventually there's going to be a mask for mask match of some kind. But I don't know if it's going to be here or there or wherever. But we're just definitely leading towards that now. Where they're actually
WrestleMania.
starting to, yeah. Eventually, one of them has to move on from this gimmick. So I don't know which one it's
For
going to be,
sure.
but they're going to go against each other. And Ludwig does have some helpers, so I don't know if that's going to
Oh.
help him out a little bit.
Jason,
Jason, what was on your mind? Sorry, Jordan, to cut you off. You want to keep going about
it's all
El
good.
Grande, but
all good.
I wanted to see what's on your mind this week, Jay. Was there anything that you watched that caught your interest?
The only thing that stood out from like Raw, I can't even remember SmackDown, but what's her face came back. AJ came back. I don't know. What did you guys think of her back and forth with Becky? As I'll start with you guys because I really hated it. I don't want to be too negative. So like, just I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, I watched it live. I didn't hate it. I think it's a different style. It's kind of what her they're kind of doing that thing where they're blending real life AJ with the character, but she is like cranking it up a little bit. What was it about the segment that didn't work for you?
It wasn't just AJ. I mean, Becky too, and I think I've like spoke highly of Becky as this character recently. I just feel like she hammed it up a little too much with this one. Like it felt too like Looney Tunes villain to me. And
I guess what's the idea behind it that she's finally, because the episode starts off with AJ in backstage walking in, so it's like, oh my god, AJ Lee is here, and walks in behind her, sees her, and starts like freaking out right away. She's like, fuck, I can't believe she's here. She's pissed off. So it was like from the jump, from before the episode even starts, she's already upset that she's back. So it seems like, is Becky just cracking? Is that the character? She's got no Seth, she's got no backup, no support, and now AJ is here and she's coming for her title.
yeah, I mean, maybe that's not what I got from it. It just sounded like really over the top, and I don't know. I don't think it was well received from what I saw online. Obviously, there's people that love AJ Lee, and whatever she does, they're gonna say it was good. I'm pretty neutral. I don't have anything against her. When she does well, I'll say she does well. When she doesn't, if I don't think she did well, it's not objective; it's subjective. But it just felt like it felt very rehearsed. It felt very written. It didn't feel organic. Didn't feel like they were in a character. It just was like an over the top, like two goofy friends talking. Like it was, maybe it's because we just saw one of the best back and forth exchanges ever, maybe with Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Maybe the dichotomy between those two is shattering me right now. But those are two huge stars. Like these are two of the biggest female stars they have. Like it's not just two people out there delivering a promo. Like it should be top tier stuff, even though they're going after a mid card title, which is weird. But it just fell flat for me. Like I like Becky. I think this character was cool and interesting. I remember back in the day, she got up on top of the desk, was kicking stuff off. She was funny, but had edge to her. Now she feels like this crazy like cartoon character. Like I'm gonna get you again, like I don't get it.
Do you guys know what a pantomime is?
I've heard the word, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
So a pantomime is I mean, I think it's a very British thing. It's like you would go to the pantomime. It's like a theatre show, but it's usually built for kids, and it's like typically a pantomime show will be like Aladdin or I can't think of any other pantomimes now. Like theatre takes on classic like fairy tale stories and things like that, and they're always over the top, and they've always got like maybe not very okay nowadays. They've always got like a madam, so it's a guy in drag that plays like a female character, and there's always like, oh, he's behind you, oh, and he looks over that way, and the guy appears at the other side. It's all just really camp and like
A
it's
Disney
the
show.
whole thing, kind of, but live, right?
Yeah.
That's what Becky feels like to me right now. Like I feel like someone will come up to her and go, Becky, you stink. Instead of just being like, well, no, I don't. I'm going to knock you out. She just goes, me? Oh, but no one else thinks that. Sports Illustrated doesn't think that. And it's like, what are you? No one would react like that. Like it feels, I get what you mean. It's cartoony. And watching their pantomime, that's how I felt. Like it didn't feel like I was watching something real.
It doesn't
Go back to CM Punk and Roman.
Yeah.
It feels
It
real.
felt so real. It felt too real. And it doesn't always have to be like that. Obviously, it can be more fun, but I just get tired of the people going back and forth where it feels like they don't even really care. It's just like they're delivering their lines, and it's not a big consequence to them. Whatever happens, I don't know. I
don't think they like. I felt like the stakes are there for that feud. I don't feel like it's
They
that.
should be.
I understand the overacting maybe kills it for some people. Bleacher Report did give that segment an A, but maybe that's just because they're mentioned.
Does it say why they gave it an A though?
Yeah, it does. I'm sure I didn't read it all, but
I just
go
don't
back and
understand
check
like
that
how
out
it could be.
after.
Maybe I'm being harsh on it. That's fine, but like I don't understand how
I do
it's
think
an
you
A.
guys are being extra harsh on it. I don't think it was that bad. I wouldn't call it an A personally, but like a B, B plus. Like the stakes were there. The reason why Becky is upset is all evident. The feud between the two, the reason why they hate each other.
Yeah,
Nothing
all
there
that does make sense, but how they delivered it, I didn't like. Like they have
Yeah, I
a
didn't
great
mind- I didn't
setup.
mind it.
Just didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think they knocked it out.
No, and I completely understand it because you're both in agreement with that. For me, it didn't seem that bad, but maybe that's because there was other stuff on the show that was more egregious. Like I wanted to talk just really quickly about Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquera's promo.
You talk too much. You always gotta
so
force
clearly
that in
she wants
now,
to be. Yeah, she really wants to be on Botchamania, I guess,
Yeah.
for the right reasons.
Honestly, this is my favorite segment of Stephanie Vaquera she's ever had. I
Really?
think Liv forces something out of her, because
It
she's
does seem
so
like that.
erratic and crazy, and it kind of brings a little bit more out of her. Like I thought she showed more personality in this than she ever has on the main roster thus far. Not to
a
say
star
it was
that's
great
bigger than her.
but,
Like
you know.
when's the last time she went against like Stephanie Vaquera has been the top person in pretty much all the feuds that she's
Yeah,
done so
exactly.
far.
And Liv is a big star, but she's also very annoying in character, right? Like she's gonna poke at you and prod you, and Stephanie's very stoic, so it's gonna bring something out of her, I feel. And
Daddy Dom the translator.
and
was really
Dom
fun.
being able to speak.
that
So
works.
it's interesting. Like there's been a lot of promos where they just bust out in a different language, and
Yeah.
for a long time, and it's like that's cool, but. If it's a written I guess they can't put subtitles because then it would be obvious that it was written. Is that why they don't do it?
Live translation has got to be a thing.
Live
They gotta figure it out.
translation or
Like, let's
something
go.
like because I think it's great when they do a
good
promo
enough.
in a different language, but I don't know
Yeah.
what they're saying. I would like to know.
Yeah, subtitles, even if it's delayed for a little bit, I don't care, but get some live subtitles in there. There was also some Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. Those have been going on. So we had Rhea Ripley, Lyra Valkyria, and Ivy Nile. Who do you think won that one? Obviously, it was Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
So these are continuing to roll on, and we did see Finn Balor starting to get in CM Punk's face and demanding a title match. So it looks like we're going to have a title match between CM Punk and him. And, Adam Pearce is like, well, would you really want to jeopardize your WrestleMania match? Like, do we really think that the WrestleMania match is in any jeopardy? No. So Finn versus CM Punk, maybe a Finn showcase. I don't know. Is this going anywhere?
I kind of miss. I know that's not what you were asking, but I kind of
No, go for
miss the WWE title being defended in the chamber. Now it just seems like it's the who challenges the other person that the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble winner
Who
does.
didn't win
choose.
the Rumble? Well, here's
So
the
it's
other
it's the
road.
consolation prize,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's. I would like to see a title match in the chamber. That's all. But
What's harder?
I get it. There.
Rumble or Chamber to win?
Should be the Rumble, right?
Odds wise, I guess it would be Rumble.
Odds-wise,
It would be
the
harder,
Rumble.
right?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
But you gotta, you gotta pin. You gotta pin. I guess you don't have to pin
Yeah.
everyone. You could just hide and pin the last person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Finn
Good
was almost my topic of the week.
Finn.
Not because I was excited by it, but just because there's times when you watch the WWE programming and you're like, oh yeah, I think I know how this is going to go, and that's fine. I'm still going to enjoy it. I don't know if I can enjoy this because it's so obviously not going to go any other way.
You'd be mad if
than
you won,
CM
though?
Punk. No, what, Finn?
Yeah.
If Finn wins and we get Finn Roman instead,
You'd be happy?
I'll be the happiest man on the
Really?
planet.
You want Finn
Because-
and Roman?
No, I don't want Finn and Roman, but I want something.
Something
I
that
want to-
shouldn't happen, yeah.
You want
I
to
want
be
to be
surprised.
sitting on my chair and go, "What the flipping balls just happened?" I want to feel alive again, Jason. Surely you can relate to that.
I forgot what it's like, but yeah.
Exactly.
So far gone from it.
So
Well, I felt it 2
You know,
weeks ago with Roman.
I don't. Yeah, I don't necessarily want it to happen, but I just when it's so obviously not going to happen.
Yeah. Why'd
I'm
they
just
do
like,
it
what's
then?
the
Why
what's
bring him
the
back out just to
point?
embarrass him again? Like, I
Exactly.
don't get it.
Why we're not going to get anything out of it unless somebody interferes and takes out Finn when he's just about to win.
No,
and
that's
then,
also lame.
again also played out. But even then, at least it would
Protect
give me
him.
something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with this. I feel like they're dragging him out to make an embarrassment of him in Chicago. It makes no sense to me. And why you would go along with it either? Because he's getting paid. That's the answer.
paid.
But yeah, like,
He's getting paid.
I know.
You do
but-
what you want. You make six figures. Like people complain like Shinsuke isn't doing anything. That guy doesn't care. He's made it very clear. He just wants the paycheck. Ride it out. So, but I don't know. I want to have a bit more faith that Finn's story is going to go somewhere. It's not going to go with a title win here, but I feel like it's part of something bigger. And the fact that I can't forecast that part is, I think, kind of interesting. Now,
yeah, that's fair.
I'm prepared to be let down because I'm always prepared to be let down with WWE. 25 years of watching this stuff has hardened me against that. But I don't know. This is one that it doesn't fit in neatly to like a storyline that WWE has done dozens of times before. Most likely it goes nowhere and he just goes back to being a Judgment Day guy and eventually they kind of break up. But I don't know. I want to leave the door open in my head for them to do something cool with Finn because he's great. I would like to see more of
He's
him.
great.
I want this to, lead to something, lead to him. I don't know. The injustice angle is kind of interesting. So let's see. But yeah, he's not winning the title.
The only thing I
obviously.
could foresee, and I don't want this to happen, but the only thing I could foresee and the only way to have him win is have him win and it ends up a triple threat. at
Don't
Mania.
even say that.
It's,
No.
We got that at WrestleMania last year.
I was thinking the
I
same
don't-
thing. As
don't
soon
need
as
it.
Finn
It's
started
the
floating around this
only
thing,
thing.
why else would he be floating around
It's
this?
the only
Just
way.
to give him something
Cody
to do?
Finn.
Something to do.
Finn
You can't
deserves
do.
better than just to be a match on the way to WrestleMania. But again,
Booking wise, he
That's-
doesn't
it's
deserve
WWE, so-
better. But I do think he does as a wrestler, yes.
yeah. As a talent,
yeah, the way
he
he's been
does,
booked lately, of course, because he's booked.
But
to
I don't
lose
want
and
it to
be
mess
a part
up
of Judgment Day.
CM Punk Roman. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I don't want
want
it.
to keep that.
I
Yeah,
don't,
I wanna keep that as is.
Hey,
Yeah,
you're
we'll
in
see.
the
If the
minority.
story
Some
makes
people
sense,
are not
if it
excited
jumps in.
for that.
I think everyone is after that promo. Everyone was bitching like me, and then they see one promo, they're like,
What are they like?
yeah.
All right.
One thing I really wanted to bring up quickly: Jordan Natty is still on her Natty
the
run, and
baddie.
she hasn't raised the violence to the level that I want it yet, but it started.
More
She beat
violence,
the crap
less
out of Maxine.
fake, intimidating faces. More violence, less.
That's,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
she
fair.
did beat the crap out of her. Did go
She
through
looked good.
some
yeah. she
table
looked good.
spots. She looks good. We are starting to get some qualifiers for the Elimination Chamber. Those have started to come through. So we do have Randy Orton confirmed and LA Knight confirmed. So those are two guys that are going to be in the men's, and in the women's we do have Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton. So lots more to come, but it does look like at the Chamber we'll also have Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the championship, so that should be good. We'll have CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the championship. So we got both, big family affair going on there, and Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre as well.
That's for the
I think
title?
We're looking.
When they make that? Oh, was that on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed that. I saw all Drew's promos and everything, and he kept getting interrupted throughout the night. I didn't see when they made it official.
I think it was end of it, if I remember correctly.
It looks like on, is it next week? Yeah, it'll be next Monday. There's a qualifier for the women's chamber between Asuka, Bailey, and Natty. So I think that's a good opportunity for Natty to shine a little bit and get into the chamber and show how violent she could be. So
yeah,
that's
out of those three, I could see Natty coming out of that. I don't think Bailey needs it. Asuka doesn't need it. So yeah,
Natty in the chamber, that would.
That's her chance to redeem herself or to show how bad she really is.
Yeah.
I like her new theme. It's cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's it. That was that's the week that was in the world of wrestling. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to sprinkle on the top there?
Sprinkle.
No sprinkles. Well, that's it. We're gonna see what happens this freaking week. We have SmackDown on Friday. Maybe you guys will tune into NXT. Maybe there's some AEW stuff happening, and there are some big shows coming up.
I'm not watching NXT ever again.
Well, at least until somebody moves.
That's your boy Sean.
The championship.
Your boy Sean.
At least until the nameless one relinquishes the belt.
Oh, relinquishes. Wow.
The nameless ones. Can't say his name,
Won't dare. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening. Check us out on YouTube and on all of the audio podcast platforms. We are the Four Jobbers, and we'll see you next freaking week. Peace.
Sniffed on my
Bonsoir
keyring.
la visite.
Bonsoir.